sir. We back with another one, man. Early morning edition. In honor of none other than the left one. Because the eye is always right. Oh, yeah. The goddesses are definitely in the building. Triple goddess effect. Shout out to the whole TLC family. Now this here, I ain't gonna go too heavy on this one. I ain't gonna beat y'all in the head too much because I got a lot, but I'll save it for a great deal of this for a more better occasion. This is a good occasion this time, but trust me on this one. But this left eye, where should I start with this one? My nigga. Wow. This nigga here so ill. I remember when I went and got the first time I went and got some pictures developed of her, it was like I'm just sitting out there. Every time I walk by and see her face, I just smile. So that's serious bad as energy. So what I'm finna do right now, what I've been doing, same thing with everybody, but just to give you a little breakdown, just in case people are like, well, what are we supposed to learn from this, or what are we supposed to get? I'm showing you ways to activate people like Aaliyah, Pac, Big, you name it. So it's not just me sitting here telling you these stories just to say, hey, look what I'm doing, look what's going on with me. That's a part of it. But what I'm actually doing here is showing you how you can use these powers or these entities. For example, by simply just listening to the music, if it's a musician that we're dealing with, or the actor watching a movie or whatever, that's a surface level. I'm gonna give you a little bit more to go on before this segment ends, just so I can show you what I mean, because they do show up. Like I said, I can show you with my music. If mind you, I never sit down with a preconceived notion of what I want to do when I'm making the track, but which is a good thing, because when it's all said and done, I could tell by the vibe of the beat what energies was coming through. Like I said, I got some shit, man, I got some thriller type shit in here. I gotta finish it, but this shit is, before it's rap wise, this shit is no joke. I'm talking about, I know it ain't no joke when I can just go crazy on that shit off the top of the dome and just inspiring beats. But yeah, I guess I'll start out with a simple story about how being too staunch in your hip hop, how we can be a little too staunched. Teachable moment. Now, when I was in jail, in there, our access to music was limited. Unless you had, some action down there. It had one of the COs or whatever sliding you some type of iPod thingy-majiggy or whatever. But I wasn't privy to that. So I was stuck with the regular radio. Now, I'm a radio kind of guy. I'm not one of those guys who say, oh, I only listen to my CDs and tapes or whatever, or streams, or however you put it these days. No, I listen to radio. Because one thing about radio is, in regards to music, it provides the soundtrack of the street in general. Whatever you get, say you don't listen to the radio, so when you get in the car, whatever you listen to, whatever, it's the soundtrack of your personal thing or whatever, which is cool too. Because I do that as well. But I do like that general feeling of, okay, which I haven't really been, just put like that general feeling. It ain't been like it used to be when nigga was growing up, but it was like, that's why I can say a song, or I could bring up a song from, say, 1999 or 2000 or something, whatever. And it will. And not saying you can't do that with more current music, but I'm just giving you the best example I can give you. I can say something or bring up a song, and it will trigger you emotionally based off of, you're like, man, I graduated today. Oh man, I danced to that in the prom. But or I can hear a song and be like, man, I remember that was 9-9 and such and such and such and such, and this was that, But it's like it's hard to kind of explain, but it's like a oneness. That's you got different forms of information now, different forms of media via the internet, but like I said, I come from a time where that radio was king. You wanted to find out something, that was probably one of the first things you ran to. Trying to see who was gonna speak on whatever happened or whatnot. But so it always was like a soundtrack to the streets for me, generally speaking. I have my own personal shit, but then I still remember certain rotations from certain parts of certain years. Like you can name one song and I can say, well, yeah, that's when Bag It Ass Up came out. They Want to Be a Baller and Ball and Parlay and all the songs that was Devin, Do What You Wanted. All I like that shit because it reminds me of that certain. So I can sit back and I'm the type of nigga that go and make a playlist of everything from '99, and I can get all them songs. Okay, I remember that came out that summer. Okay, that was the spring. That came out in the spring, and it dominated the radios to the fall. But anyway, so I'm and like I say, music is just like anything. It's just like food. You go too long without food. When you finally get some food, you're gonna eat. If you go a considerable amount of time without eating, right? Same thing with music. When I was in the county, we got the urban radio stations, but it was on and out. So one day you might wake up, or we might not get it that day. Then we might get it the next day, and the next day it might not come on, whatever. Then when I went to my transition facility, or the transit facility, which is when you go in between them picking what main unit they're gonna send you to do the majority of the time or whatever. There was no radio, so all we had was Soul Train and Street Flavor, and even that got kind of crazy over there because we had to rack up at like 12, I think, or one on the weekends. I think it was 12 on the weekends, and Street Flavors come on at 11, but they start coming on at 1. So we got about a good month and a half of Street Flavor and Soul Train, and then they switched the times up, so that shit started coming on after we had to rack up, and I think we would catch Soul Train, and then with Street Flavor, which is the rap shit, would come on. Sometimes we had to sneak and watch that shit. And after that, I went to another transfer facility, no radio. Then I finally went to the main unit or whatever, where I was able to get a radio. Before I could, though, when my city, he had his radio, because when you get over there, it take about 2 weeks before you be able to get everything or whatever, or get shit you need if you can. But man, when I finally got a dose of some goddamn urban radio, whatever their little station is out there, because that's what it was. No, I think first it was like a pop station I was listening to out there. And when I on my cellular radio, because he was like, man, you can listen to this shit all night. I ain't tripping. He had already been there, so he ain't tripping on no radio. He's like, man, you can listen to this shit all night. Shout out to my nigga Mighty Mouse, man. Cool cellular essay. San Antonio, my San Antonio player partner. Good people, man. But draw his ass out too, if I'm not mistaken. I think he did. I'm trying to make sure I ain't getting mistaken one, because I had another cellular that kind of looked like him later on in my bid or whatever, and he was bad, the motherfucker with that pen. I think Mighty Mouse, cause after they called him Mighty Mouse too, if I ain't mistaken. It's like calling nigga Mighty Mouse because they look like. So I can't remember, but the original one anyway. He let me listen to the radio or whatever. And man, I had to be to work at like get up by like 5 or 6 or something. Don't you know I couldn't put them fucking headphones down? And I'm talking about it ain't this regular rotation radio, so it's like you're hearing the same songs over and over. But I had went so long without hearing music, it was just like I hadn't ate, so it was like I couldn't go to sleep. I'm up from like 8 o'clock all the way to like 5 in the morning. I didn't even get no rest that night. Just couldn't put the headphones down. So anyway, now we got the we gonna get some Houston. Depending on where you was at on the unit, you can get Houston stations or whatever. So now we back in the urban. I'm on my urban shit. A little bit later on down the line, and now they got these 2 DJs. They're a team. I like them. They do their thing. They was my because for the most part, you just regular rotation. Happy Memorial Day to y'all. Kind of late, but it's relevant too, cause but usually you get your regular rotation radio, which is cool, better than nothing. But then you have your certain segments with certain DJs that come in there, and they'll play something that breaks away, something a little bit more underground, so to speak, or something a little bit more that you wouldn't hear regular here, or they play old shit or whatever. Like these guys here, that's what they did. They play like new shit you probably wouldn't hear. Like a new album will come out, they'll play the album, or sometimes they'll play. So that's how they gonna get a little dose of some of the shit nigga was missing. And they would play old school shit you ain't heard in a while. Be like, yeah, so that that kind of, so them was, and a lot of times, or like for example, that's why I say Memorial Day, like Memorial Day weekend, 4th of July weekend or some shit like that, Labor Day weekend. A lot of times they'll just have from that Friday all the way till Monday. It'll be like live DJing, so the DJ will come in and just really get to play what they want to play or whatnot, as opposed to you wouldn't really hit a regular rotation. It'd just be a straight up DJ set. They switching up all the way through the weekend or whatever, which we used to love that shit too, because you get to break out of that regular 8 or 9 songs they play all day. You get to hear old shit, new shit you probably never heard before, little deep cuts or album shit. There's some albums that don't really be on the radio a lot, but they'll slide it in there and clean it up a little bit, shit like that. And that was the type of shit I lived for in there. Although I do know how to enjoy and appreciate the regular rotation thing or whatnot, when it's has stuff that I can, like I say, by that time it was like, I was growing up, man, you can damn near listen to the radio. Every song they played was damn near like I damn near like for the most part back then. You had your songs you don't like, but not so much by this time, which was like 2007, somewhere around 2008. But anyway, so them 2 was like, they they staunch hip hop. Like, they from Texas, but they got that, which is one of the things I can relate to them about, because they got that, I can tell that, they heavy on the New York. But they older than me, so they come from a time where shit, that's all you had, which is I always tell niggas, you can't count New York out or say fuck New York, because that's the home of this shit. They inspired all this shit. You see my boy out. But they, so, and you could tell that these guys was heavy, which I salute that, because that's how I got my dose of New York shit that you wouldn't really usually hear on the radio, or that underground. And they played everything, but you could tell they was more New York, which is cool too. I got that part of me too, so it's like, well, they cater to that. I can get that out of them. But But I'm gonna tell a story. It's a funny story. Now they end up getting there was two of them, and then there were three. Now they end up getting because these two are a duo. I don't put them out there like that. But they're a duo. Everybody know them, whatever. So they end up getting for their radio show. They end up getting a third wheel. It was a female. Now I always laugh at this, but now to me, when she joined the team, it looked like they was trying to give her like a little DJ hazing or something like that. You know what I'm saying? She was Hispanic, but they a little younger than them, being a female. So you know how they go. Now you know me, I love them girls, so I'm real critical. They just like you take a girl and put her in the room, put her in the room and play with a bunch of boys. You gotta kind of watch because boy get a little rough and shit. So it was just talking about kids and shit. So that's how I kind of was looking at this. And I was like, okay, cause she cool people, but they would always give her a little hard time and shit, and they was real like they be testing on hip hop and shit, they was hip hop niggas, man. But I'm gonna tell you how you can be give you an example how you can be too staunch and miss certain shit. Now on Left Eye birthday, something was going on. They was talking about hip hop, and she said, speaking of hip hop, today is Left Eye's birthday, so they went to their staunch mode. They didn't disrespect Left Eye like that, but they talking shit to her. They was like, well, where did that come from? And yada 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 yada. They talking shit, and then one of them was like, and TLC, that's R&B. I said, red flag. Like, hold up. She's right, because it was talking about something within the context of hip hop when she brought up Left Eye. But they're looking at TLC's R&B aspect. When I know that TLC is hip hop and R&B, that is a mesh. For one, Left Eye is the rapper of the group, so that's off the top. But not even just that. Even if Left Eye didn't rap and she sung and out, their demeanor and even their wardrobe and all that, their whole flavor was hip hop. It was just predominantly singing because T-Boz and Chili sing and she was the only rapper. So the group was predominantly R&B, but she was the hip hop element. So Shorty Rock was right when she said that. She was like, no, I'm listening to the nigga. I'm like, nigga, first and foremost, TLC just as a group is hip hop. You tripping on her talking about, oh, that's R&B. No, and not only is she, the group itself is hip hop, but on Left Eye birthday, the person she was speaking of from the group was the representative of hip hop in the group. I'm like, they're two stars. I'm like, you can't see. You have to learn how to see and these would be guys I consider hip hop historians or aficionados, right? But see, that's the thing. As an aficionado, I would think you were supposed to be like, well, you know what, she's right. Because they are hip hop. Even though it's predominantly singing, they are hip hop. And Left Eye is the rapper of the group. But he like, that ain't even hip hop. That's what I said, see, sometimes you can be too hip hop for your own good. And don't peep the whole thing. Because if you see them, if you didn't know who TLC was and you was to see them, you would say, oh, they finna rap. You'd probably think they finna rap because they demeanor is hip hop. They are hip hop. They just sing, and it can be like it ain't. We get the genres and shit separate. You think, well, this is hip hop, but when you start dealing with people, a person to be R&B singer, but come from a hip hop background. Now, another thing I like about Left Eye in particular, but the whole group, because they hold demeanor, but I say Left Eye more so, is the androgynous. See, like I said, Leah, Left Eye, they both Left Eye. Leah used to have a thing over, like you wear a swoop over her eye. You got Left Eye. All this is relevant. Got my pen with me too. That's our little bond. For some reason, she was telling this story about how old man used to always get on her because it'll be a pen on the floor. She take forever to pick it up, and he finally had to say, "How many times have you worried about this pen and I picked it up?" I'm the same way. Pens fall on the floor and shit. That motherfucker be there. I be walking by him for 45 times and shit, just like her. So when I seen that when I heard her say that, I said, yeah, that nigga just like me, cause I'm the same way. I do that shit too. But the eye, we go back to that eye. You know what I'm saying? The left eye, the left being the feminine part of the brain, the body. But the androgynous of it, a perfect balance. Because when you see Aaliyah and when you see Left Eye, you don't see somebody that's necessary. You wouldn't look at them and say, you might say, okay, they kind of dress like tomboys. So that's what I mean when I say tomboys. Girls who can do stuff like wear men's clothing the way men would wear them, but still come off ladylike or still be attractive as a woman, as opposed to dressing up like a man to try to attract women and be gay or whatever. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying that ain't what you get from them. You would see them in all this gear, but you never looked at Left Eye said, oh, she a boy dad, or she like, no, you just that was the thing. We were more an androgynous. It was more androgynous, at least on the women's side. See, the men is a little less androgynous. I guess Prince and Mike, they compensated for all our lack of androgynous, because you know in hip hop, you can't be in, you gotta, not at least not like Mike and Prince do. You gotta be on some. That's why I be telling niggas about now, dresses and carrying purses and shit. That's like, I understand androgyny, but that don't fit within the fucking realm of hip hop. Find other ways in this when you come down this hallway. But that's what I mean when I say girls like that, or if you know what you're doing when you get them. Those are some of the best type of girlfriends you can have, because they're more by them having that androgynous or that part of them that makes them say, I'm gonna put my clothes on baggy and, you know, this nigga the same way, same way. That's why I said something about that 90s era, or something about that, I ain't gonna say that 'cause she was born in the 90s, but something about that era, because she was the same way, Cassie. They knew how to emulate us. You know, it's kind of like that thing where your girl wear your t-shirt and shit when she come in the house or whatever. Or start speaking like you're talking your slang and shit, or talking like, I've seen it before. I be messing with a girl who you know, she talking like me and shit. So, it's like that thing on a general level, but not as far as not to go as far as to say you look and think that you know, because they still have their femininity. It wouldn't be no all the way straight up, I'm trying to look like a boy type shit. They would maintain that. Because like I said, even Leo was like, they said her and Missy had a bet or who will be the first one to wear a dress. But then when you look at them, but it's not coming from a standpoint of sexuality. It's coming from a standpoint of just who they are. It's like every girl, just to show you how sometimes things is not. Everybody's different, I should say, or whatever. So every girl, some girls are girls. They might not even like girls, but it's something about the style and fashion, how men dress, that they, I guess, like it or whatever. So, but that would, to me, that's an indicator that they are somewhat in tune with their masculine side. So, that's one thing. Let me take a leak. Pause real quick. All right. Now I even take it a little further with the radio thing. This shit is, look, now mind you, this is like way back in about 2007, something like that. Regular shit, just them on the radio. And I'm gonna say this without trying to expose too much, but the like I said, the dude, the female DJ was Hispanic, right? What's Lisa's last name? Lopez. And I ain't gonna say, well, her initial, this nigga birthday on 2/7, that's BG. That's her initials. The woman who was telling them, hey, Left Eye's hip hop too. They arguing and shit. I'm like, she's right, bro. She's a rapper. The group is hip hop. Hip hop and R&B group, the trio or whatnot. So that's how deep this shit is. Now let's get into some more shit now. This nigga is bad. I'm saying, first and foremost, one thing about, see, what I do is I look at them, and I know these are goddesses. They have the attributes of many different goddesses. So, give you an example with Left Eye, Amaterasu, which is Japanese, right? And she looks rather Japanese on this right here. You look at her, you know she got them eyes, but Amaterasu. Now Amaterasu is a sun goddess, right? I guess I can give y'all this the thing about, okay, so 2/7, right? 2 plus 7 is 9, that's I. 2B7G 9I. Big. Love it when they call me Big Papa. So we dealing with Big I. Now, there's a deity named Lisa. Another sun deity, right? Now, sun is masculinity, or masculine predominantly, right? But the Lisa is a masculine energy. Lisa, you usually think of it as a female name, but I can't remember what damn part of the world it came from. But Lisa was a sun deity, right? But a masculine one. But in this pantheon, Lisa is masculine. Then you got Papa, and another get the hero of 1,000 faces. Papa is a earth deity, but you got Papa and Rangi. Rangi is the sky deity, which is the masculine, and Papa, you think of Papa, you think of man, father, but in this pantheon, Papa, P-A-P-A, is a feminine earth deity or whatever. Now you got big birthday that was almost almost 7 days away. 7 days that 7 days ago. It was 6 days ago. And then you got Lisa, Miss Lopez. Her birthday falls on the 27th. Shout out to 702, another triple goddess girl group. See how they come in threes? I just found that interesting. And her birthday is on the 27th, which comes out to big. And I can show you two different pantheons where Papa was the masculine, or Papa was the feminine, and Lisa was the masculine, right? That's one thing. Now you got Amaterasu. So anything time you want to say you rap or say you make music, I just use that as go. So you can do anything, because Amaterasu has many different attributes. She's a silk weaver, restorer of peace. I'll take y'all a little further. She has a grandson. She's the daughter of Izanagi and Izanami. But she has a grandson named Nini G. Nini G is called Prosperity Man. Now, where does that tie with Left Eye? Well, what did Left Eye change her name to before she passed? Did she change her name to Nina? And it's funny because I called Big Medina 9 on one of my posts. Medina is the nickname for Brooklyn within the nation they call the Nerve Lingo. But Nene G, Amaterasu, a sun goddess. She was born from the left eye of Izanami, if I'm not mistaken. And some of they saying that is, this is the eye. She's a sun goddess. So it comes from, she's born out of, this is the eye right here that he's speaking of. So now that goes up and the creation of the sun starts to take place. It's Amaterasu time. One of some of the things that are sacred to Amaterasu is bamboo. You know, bamboo is good for good luck. Another thing that's sacred to her is cherries. And it was something else. Silk. All of these things. So say you want to make contact with left eye or something. You can do something in rice, that too. Rice is sacred to it too. So say you wanted to you was working on a song and you wanted some type of influence or something or help from her. You could do something simple as spell her name, take some rice and spell left eye, spell Lisa Lopez, or you can spell Amaterasu, however you want to do it or whatever. Put a picture of left eye up or something like that, or burn a candle, or I'd say a yellow candle or a white candle, something like that. Yellow, white, or green. And something like that. That's just and you add your own to it. But that's the type of stuff you do. Or you might get something made of silk, or you might. She's in another one of the attributes is weaving, which represents weaving represents the is emblematic of the assembling of the physical universe, the weaving of the black of melanin being woven into the physical existence that we now reside in. So all these things, you can take them and use them as magical apparatuses to contact her. Left, I love the kids, just like Mike. Then she got the her last album that she made before she passed was Supernova. See, they via the arts, the divine attributes of people pour out through the arts, and that's why I was telling y'all last video. They are able to kind of gauge where you at on a as far as spiritually by judging your art and how you your temperament attitude towards art or whatever. That's why even though art is generally, it's a general beef between artists and industry, at least a true artist, put it like that. It's a general thing, but true artists get it the hardest because true artists are artists. Therefore, when you're in partnership with somebody or entity that's only about the business aspect of things, they tend to disregard your artfulness or your artistry in order to make a quick buck. So you might have a song that you want to be your single. They might say, it's too art, we need something more colorful than this, that, and the third. Woo. Which is another thing about TLC. You want to tap into some, at least I know, I think I'll say anybody for this matter, but especially those that grew up when songs like Hat to the Back and Ain't too proud to be. Oh, that shit is genius. Them girls was bad. My nigga with with chitty say, hey, that shit is special. I ain't too proud to be. The way she just came in. This is the little shit you have to pay attention to, at least in my world. I look at it like that. When that nigga come in and say, that last motion, ain't too proud to beg for what I call my own. That shit is dynamite. To this day, it is timeless music, man. That shit is, that part, oh, this so 90s. If we don't, I don't try to look. Let me put it like this, because I don't want niggas think I'm some goddamn, like I'm trapped in the 90s and shit. Kinda, but not to that degree. But a nigga don't try. I love the new generation and shit, man. I don't want to make it seem like I'm beating y'all over the head with, oh, we're better than y'all and shit like that. What I'm just trying to do is get you niggas to step your game up, because I can see, well, you think just because we always think that the present shit is better than the old shit because we are programmed to believe that everything evolves. And it does, but sometimes some shit can devolve. Like hip hop devolved. But see, when you take the less talented people or that which lacks talent and makes it popular, then everybody is gonna be aiming at, if you take a whack beat, or the only thing that you promote in the mainstream is whack beats, then you giving people who end up liking this shit imitate it, and it produces more whack shit. That's what happened with hip hop, if you ask me. And I'm not saying there ain't no good artists out there now. You got all kinds of mixing bowls, so I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that even with the girls and shit, like I say, I'm not telling you that it's an audience for that. So the shit that I say that makes me feel like I would be playing with Barbie dolls listening to it. That don't mean you let me start rapping or doing it like that. I'm not saying that, because it's girls in the world, it's girly girls, so it's good to have that for them. But all I be saying is, because I be liking the talent, you know, as far as the lyricism and the talent is there, but it be just but it be that, it be like, man, I can't, give me some shit I want to listen to you, but give me some shit I can put some balance to it, you know what I'm saying? So, well, anyway, but I think one of the best ways to do that is the braggadocious shit, to start taking pride in being an MC, rapping, the lyricism, kick ass with a mic sometimes. Then you guys always talk about your high heel, get on the mic and show some skills, and, you know, say words to make them up, because let me go look that up. Or, you know, just without making it too goddamn, you know, like I said, it's a place for this shit, but I don't want, you don't want people, when they think of modern feminine female hip hop, you don't want them to think y'all are just that. You want different variety. You want the pretty girl shit, and you can go get her. You want that girl that can kick that gritty shit, go get her. You want a little mixture, go get her. But yeah, man. And it has been some good. Like I say, it's one particular album. Like I said, it's more. I now brought up Nicki, but it's more than just her. She's just the biggest name that I can think of in regards to somebody who know how to make that band. But there's other chicks too. Like I said, I ain't gonna go into detail, but there's other girls out there. They just not as mainstream. But there's other chicks. Like it's like right now, you ask me who. If I had a chance to do a song with somebody right now, you could take whoever the biggest name out. I'm talking for the girls, the biggest names. You could take one of them, but I'd be like, I wouldn't mind doing that one, but I would rather go with this girl over here in the cut right here. Cause she's kicking the shit I'm on. I know to find my way around both, but my first choice probably wouldn't be the biggest name you're hearing out there right now. It'd be, give me her. Yeah, that one. She's kicking that shit. She got the pretty girl shit going too. but she know how to kick shit on that mic. You dig? Like this one. This nigga's the only, she's the first female I ever heard do a feminine rendition of pop. And what song that might be, what song it is you might ask, would be Donnell Jones, You Know What's Up. Go listen to that. That is pop in feminine form via Amaterasu, a.k.a. Lefty, a.k.a. Lisa Lopez. Yes, indeed. But she's but anyway, Amaterasu, she's a, I say, supernova, Amaterasu, she's a sun deity. Part of her story is, I think she was running from her mate or something like that. It's like she hid in the cave. They had to use a mirror to get out the cave. Now, that is nothing more than when the sun, bam, the supernova explodes and all this comes out. Then when these seven go up and become the sun up here, when it comes down, boom. When the earth raises up, that is Amaterasu, and it's passing, and the sun is passing. With the earth is rising up, causing the sun to pass through each one of these seven. That is Amaterasu in the cave. They say she gave Nene G in order to affirm his rule. Her grandson Nene G, she gave him a jewel, a spear, a jewel, a sword, and a spear, if I'm not mistaken. A jewel, a sword. I think it's a jewel and a sword and a spear. But the jewels, isn't the jewels, like I told you. Then the sword, blade would be whoop, whoop. And then of course this is the spear. When this goes up and it comes down, bam, you have a fireball with a string coming from behind it, like a spear. The mirror, they said they had to use a mirror to get out the cave. The mirror would be, you can look at this as the mirror, but the mirror would be, when all this goes up, create the moon will be the mirror. Then the sun comes up, boom, when that pops off and all the earth goes up and this pops off, she comes out the cave when actually the earth flies from off of her, or off of the sun, and goes into its orbit. And Amaterasu comes out of the cave. But, yeah, she, what else? The necklace, this is the necklace, she's famous for a necklace, or collar. So this was the neck or whatever. I'll say this is the bottom and it's the neck or whatnot. This would be, this was the head. The necklace would be this right here, all around there. Amaterasu. Now we know she has a. Now I'm gonna say I ain't gonna go. I'm gonna give you a little bit, but I ain't gonna get the whole thing. But we know first and foremost, I want to say no disrespect. I don't want to trigger Dre, my boy Dre, or anybody who's on the wrong end of the fire thing or whatever. I don't want to come on here like I'm, trying to poke fun or some shit like that or whatnot. And I know it was a long time ago, so it shouldn't be too bad now. But although my boy was on the undesirable end of that fire thing, even that within itself, though, is a testament to her, not just the fire part, the mere fact the fire was involved. I don't want to make it like we celebrating that shit, As a matter of fact, a lesson to be learned with that is, and I'm not blaming either side, because I don't know, get into the relationship thing, but we do know there was relationship problems. Is why I tell people, with dudes especially, because women are more violently, emotionally volatile than us. So even that within itself, the whole fire thing, her setting the house on fire, even that is a lesson in love to show you why you should be mindful and sensitive towards people's emotions. And I'm talking about generally. I'm not talking about their particular situation, because I ain't trying to make it look like it was his fault or her fault. I'm just saying you can use that as a general. There's millions of left eyes out there, and they can possibly get to that point when you fuck with the woman's emotional. Not saying he was wrong or she. I'm saying generally speaking. I ain't talking. I'm trying to isolate that. Just to give you an example of what happened within that situation is an example of what can happen in any situation when you playing with females' emotions and shit. And men too, both women are more emotional than us, so they tend to take it a little further, or whatnot. And I'm just using the fire example. It can be anything. Like I say, it might fuck around, stab you or some shit, or y'all end up stabbing each other or anything. You know what I'm saying? That is why it is when we make light of relationships, and I think we make too light of relationships, and the effects on each other's emotional well-being that we have. We don't consider the pain or the mental anguish that can very well come along with us not treating each other well within relationships or whatnot. And they lead to these real inflammatory situations. No pun intended. But outside of the negative aspect of, because I think when I looked at the Dangerously in Love episode, one thing I can say is that he loved her. I'll say that, but I know relationships go through this, that, back and forth. But one thing I can say about looking at that man is that man loved her. Because I know love. I've been in love, so when I saw him, I said that nigga loved her. That's even with Pop. I don't know. I don't know the details. I'm just going out what I hear. I didn't like how if it went the way they said it went on what I was watching. I didn't necessarily like how Pop went about the whole left eye thing with a guy and all that. I was like, I don't know the detail, but like based off what I seen, what I will say is, like, if you hang with a nigga, bro, that's like me. I might be kicking it with a girl, or cause Pop and Left Eye never really, I don't know. They never was really an official couple, but I don't know what the hell they had going on. That's all I'm gonna say. But they was tight. I know they, but anyway. So just to be safe about it, I guess they was, they was cool or whatever. I don't know how close they got to actually hooking up. They never really became a couple, but it looked like it was possible. But it never happened. I think Pac was trying to keep on a friendship level or something like that or whatever. Then she ended up getting with Dre, and then I think Pac caught back up with her. But he was, like they say, they was all hanging together, him and Andre Rison and them, and but it's like it's the way they make it sound, he was still trying to get it left. I'm like, man, that ain't clear. Even if you was already shooting at her and it didn't really go down, I don't be around a nigga and then you trying to holler at this guy. Even if I did know her, or had some past relations with her on whatever level, I'm not gonna be around a nigga hanging with him and then still trying to shoot my shot at her just cause some past shit. But it's just too mixy, man. Players fuck up too, so I ain't, I'm just saying, I didn't like that part. I'm like, come on. As I say, I wish I was around niggas like Pac. I'd be giving him, don't do that, bro. That ain't player, man. Keep it gangster. It's now if they break up, whatever, you shoot, start, whatever, don't be that nigga, man. But, So but he loved her though, man. They loved each other. But that's like nigga Bobby said. I can't remember what he said. It's one culture where I think he said when you get married or when you fall in love, motherfuckers tell you, well, people say, you have my condolences. He said, I can't remember where he said that shit was there. But he was like, when you tell about you in love, you think, oh, you finna get mad. He said, well, you have my condolences. Now, you know, condolences is for sad shit. So you be like, condolences? Basically, why they tell you that is because they're saying that this shit comes with a lot of ups and downs and turmoil. It could come with less if you two motherfuckers on the up and up and both are tuned to a common cause within the relationship. But if not, young hearts, ooh, you can be in for it. So the question becomes, are you willing to stay the course? Now that's young shit. Now personally, when you get about 30, you meet a motherfucker. 35, I say 30, you know, because I pretty much knew what I wanted. I always had to know what the fuck I want, basically. Shit, since I first really just got into, really start considering myself in serious relationships. But I understand them 20s, you wild, probably ain't had much, probably depending on how you grew up, especially if you was sheltered by the time you get in your 20s, you want to be free. You don't want to necessarily, I don't think girls, they don't be understanding this aspect either. You don't want to, especially if you sheltered, and then you don't start really getting a sense of freedom until you get to your 20s. Really the last thing you probably want to try to do, or if you feel like you might still want to be in a relationship, at least still have an understanding of yourself to know that, well, that's like almost I don't want to put it in terms of lockup, but I'm going to say, okay, you already had a lack of freedom or was sheltered based on you growing up. Then you go to college or you graduate or whatever, and you got a little bit more freedom. Whether it be consciously or subconsciously, your mind, you think you might want to be in a relationship and committed or whatever. But then that becomes a whole nother sheltering, as opposed to you being able to take advantage of this newfound freedom or whatever degree and explore different options and get to know men in general by the different types of men you bump into. Not necessarily saying you got to fuck them all, and maybe you might want to fuck, who knows? But you meet all these different men to learn men on a general level. So so by the time you finally do get to a point where you say, you know what, I really want to settle down, you will know men enough to where when you, whoever your mate you choose to sit down with, you'll be able to deal with them better because you have a better perspective of men. You have a more well-rounded perspective of of men in particular through your journeys or whatever. So, Left Eye is, I'm saying, you can really, this is no joke. You can really, you can't just be it's just like niggas. You're not gonna just go knock on somebody's random door and ask them to help you with some shit. If you need some help, 9 times out of 10 you'll go to somebody you know, right? Well, it's the same thing with them. Now, even you may not be familiar. For one, when you start tapping into these different ancestral or these different glorified beings, you're gonna have to know them. Therefore, you can't just say, "I'm gonna put up a picture of Left Eye and whatever happened." You're gonna have to. Now, I can do that now because I gotta do a call on them, then just go on about my business, and by me being in tune with them, so intertwined with them, I can start throughout the day. I start seeing them coming through in a certain way. Okay, that nigga, that might be a song, might be this, that, and the third. But I know certain aspects of a Left Eye or signature things. So I might anything, but you in order for you to say you call on left eye, in order for you to know she's operating around you, you're gonna have to know certain elements of it. You have to know about the condom eye patch, the baggy clothes. Somebody might come. You might be in the store and see somebody with some. You might call on her and go to the supermarket or whatever, and a girl that look like her might walk by, or it might be somebody in some baggy clothes or somebody doing. But if you don't know all these things, the more you know of them. So I guess in so many words, the more you know about them, and it's easy. All you gotta do is study their music, watch the videos, read books on them, whatever. Therefore, when you looking for confirmation that they're around after you called on them, it'll be easy for you to see them because you know them. You know what to look for. Now, it's just like me. I go call somebody, an artist or something from 1940, and I don't know nothing about them. How would I know they showing up or whatever? It has to be something blatant or whatnot. But that's a part of the confidence. Once you call them and you start seeing them around you or seeing little things happening that pertains to them, that's like, okay, I know it is. Therefore, eventually it gets to the point where that's like right now, I can start making a beat right now. And I'm not particularly thinking about nobody. But they'll still come through, but I won't realize how I listen to the beat. Like, you know what, that remind me of woo, 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 woo. That's how they come through. And not just with music in all kind of ways, but I'm just giving you some pointers. So you want to treat them like you know them. You can make a rice cake. Make an altar, put left on the altar, make a rice cake, some cherries or something like that. Put them on the altar or whatever. Light a candle or whatever. Put some liquor, some water, whatever. Now I'll probably try Hennessy with Lefty, or some type of cherry, some type of liquor that's cherry involved or whatever, or some sake, because sake is made out of rice. Sake, Japan, you dig? So yeah. But yeah, man, we have to give a big birthday shout out to my girl, man. Big Lefty. That nigga is who she say she. I'm saying, when you study her, go listen to all things Left Eye, and then come back and listen to this shit I'm telling you, and you'll see. Like I say, the Supernova, that was more so for the kids, but that star power shit right there. I'm gonna say that one. I'm gonna show you for you skinny jean guys, skinny short guys. I ain't gonna do it yet, but to each his own. You wear what you wanna wear. I ain't here to, whatever. But I'm gonna tell you a story. It's Left Eye related, but I'm gonna hold it. It's a summer storm. I'm gonna wait till the summer, because the story is based off something that happened to me going towards the end of summer 9/3. Very relevant though to the day, but I'm gonna hold that one right now. So yeah, man. But yeah, Amaterasu. She was born after the left eye of her mother, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, but Amaterasu, she was born from her father's left eye, part of self. Another thing, she's like I said before, Left Eye passed, she was heavy on the kids or whatever. Like I said, go listen to the Supernova album, but Amaterasu was also a fertility deity as well. So if you're looking to try to have some kids or whatnot, you can call on Amaterasu, or Left Eye, put a picture up, whatever, however you want to do it. So Yeah, man, I hit give y'all that, man. Found out who wrote Scrubs. Yeah, I knew them niggas ain't write that song. That's why, even when you listen to Left Eye part, I think Left Eye wrote her verse though. When you listen to her part, uh, she ain't talking about Scrubs as far as on no money shit. She, if you can't expand my horizon, then it leaves you in the club. She say, if you can't, I can't remember the verse, but she said expand her horizons. In so many words, what she's saying is, I ain't her verse. But I took her verse is, I'm basing niggas. I'm judging niggas based off of who they are from right here. Fuck what seat you in a car. And she was that kind of person. Shout out to the whole group though, man. Like I say, man, them niggas that's legendary. That goddamn that TLC, man. The whole career, but especially when they first came out, all them bright colors and shit. You just never seen nothing like them, man. T-Bob's voice, just unique, chilly, beautiful voice, blowing. Hey, hey, yeah. There's something about that part. I ain't too proud of me. When that part come on, it's like a man. That music was just, I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm not one of them guys that I ain't gonna even say nothing. Anyway, I don't want to go back into one of them rants about how better the '90s was, but I don't know. It just was something. Especially, well, at least within hip hop. Like I say, because I think hip hop took the brunt of hit when it comes to shit devolving. Because I would have to say R&B lately has been better than hip hop or whatever. It just hasn't been celebrated as much as hip hop because the rap shit took over. Well, rap will say. But that's why you have, like I said, to go back to that story about the DJs. That's why you have to be. We get so caught up in the rap shit. We get so caught up in the rap, and we start forgetting the other elements. So that's why it was easy for them to say, "Hey, they're not hip hop, or they're not considered hip hop." That's what the DJ was saying about TLC, but they are. I'm like, when he said it, and these niggas are hip hop. I give you niggas that these are hip hop aficionados, but they go to show you as an example how you can be too staunched in your shit to where you will really miss shit that is hip hop, but you be caught in one zone of it or one out. In this case, I said they were stuck in one realm. So just because they're not predominantly a rap group, the first thing that came out their mouth was, "That's not rap. That's R&B." It's like, it's hip hop too, though. The culture that they coming from hip hop. They singing, but they coming from a hip hop culture, and they got a hip hop spokesman rapping in the form of Left Eye. It was her birthday that day. Y'all niggas, these niggas like, y'all failed that one. But they got a good taste. I don't think, I ain't gonna say that. I'm finna say, they were more Biggie guys than Pac. I'll say that much too. I ain't gonna say they didn't like Pac, but they were more on the Biggie side of things. And it's some guys who were on the Pac side of things. And you got niggas like me. I'm in the middle. I fuck with them both. But yeah, man. But I'm gonna leave it right here for now. I think it's a better occasion for the deeper aspect of the. I think I hold a little bit. I got a little bit more I want to share with you about her, but we'll wait till next year. This was Aaliyah was doing. Aaliyah went hard this year right here. So next year we'll get real lefty with you. So y'all stay tuned. I still got another story too though. But we'll get in there a little later in the summer. So just hold your hats, man. My girl. Bow. don't be too proud to beg for yours though. Jokingly, it's the thing, you know. Don't be begging for bullshit. You and your lady friend or you and your man friend play them little games. It be like that sometimes. You might have to beg for it. Or maybe not. Holla at your boy though. Peace. I ain't finished with you niggas yet. Hold up. I ain't get to finish my pump with the fire thing. But so yeah, let me get back to that part. So I thought we was finna end, but give you a couple more minutes. But now, what I was saying about the fire thing is, that's the reason why to take it out. Like I said, take it outside of the whole melee of it all between her and Andre, but the fire thing that's her thing. See, that's how the shit. Even with me, I got a story. I set some shit on fire before too. Yeah, I'm gonna hold that one though. We gonna keep that one. It's a doozy. Oh yeah, but I just say my Lincoln. That's how I lost my Lincoln Town car before I got locked up. That motherfucker set on fire, caught on fire, whatever. But that's one of her attributes because she's a sun goddess or whatever. Even when you look at her relationship. So what I was trying to say was, so even though we know her, we associate her with fire via and she had a little history with it, I don't want to get into it, but she was already she's already a fire bug, put it like that, before that situation happened. But although it may have been a unfortunate situation in regards to how she became associated with fire, outside of the negative aspect of it, the fire is her. That's one of her attributes as a goddess, Lefty, through the Amaterasu. When you look at her in this picture right here, she looks like a samurai or something. Or when you go back to was the 808 video with her, you see her and the Tina, they doing and shout out to Black, man. Them girls there, that tell you, but that triple threat, man. There's something about that goddesses, man. They say they come in threes. You got 702, like 7B, 2, 7G, 2B, 9R. And there's three of them. So I always call TLC the big three, but then one day I said, well, damn, 702, they name pretty. This big, and 702 comes out the big, and it's three of them. So who's the big three? Is it two big threes? Mm-hmm. So I think about. But I call TLC the big three because they had more of a widespread commercial success. 702 had commercial success as well. It just didn't go as far as it probably didn't get to. It probably didn't explode to the level of TLC, but 702 is a big deal. Don't let anybody fool you, for you youngsters who wasn't around when they came out. No, they was a big deal. Where my girls at, the girls love that shit. That's why, and that's timeless music. Like that shit can come on right now to tell you some timeless shit. And the reason I call it timeless is because a lot of times a single from the 90s or the early 2000s, if it was to come on, it's a good chance that I would change the station or wouldn't pay attention to it. Because we heard it so many times in regular rotation, just being replayed in the replay value from all over the years after you got the regular rotation era, and then you can still hear it here and there, movies and on the radio, still here and there, woo woo. So a lot of times with singles, you be so burnt out on them that you have to really make an effort to listen to him because you didn't heard him so much. But Pony by Genuine, that's some shit. That's timeless shit. That shit come on right now, and I'll never get tired of it. Even I can hear that shit. It ain't like we heard it a lot when it first came out, but then, but even to this day, after all them years of hearing it, it's still when it come on, it's still like it just like it never gets old. That motherfucker just jam. That where my girls at, and as well as Stilo. That shit don't get old. That shit come on. It's like, hey! And these are songs we would hear on the radio. Usually, like I said, usually the regular rotation songs, you hear them 15, 20 years later, you heard them so much, you be like, I ain't sure. But these songs like that, 808, now 808 got burned on our radio station, but it didn't, it wasn't enough, I just said commercial investment in it to the point to where it didn't fade. It kind of faded out, which is probably what they wanted to do because Lefty was on some other shit. So just like with Aaliyah, they don't want look at the group 808. Back to numerology. She's married to Whitney Andre Rising, number 80, the Falcon, that's Horace, Fire, what else? Then she was conscious, so she left them seeds. She left them seeds, the conscious seeds planted within the teen and the 808 thing. So that was a good group. I say boom like an 808 and bring it all to me. All that shit is gold. Like bring it on from the Bring It On soundtrack. That shit there is gold. Like that shit come on, boom. That is beautiful music, man. So they probably didn't want that to, they probably look at that like 808. Oh shit, they on some shit, but that's a bad motherfucker. But that's a part of her thing, the fire. You know what I'm saying? Because she's a sun goddess. So birthday in the spring. I thought that was interesting to note. But yeah, man, I just want to put that in there and speak to that part of her, just to show you how these are actually more than just women singing. And you might be a singer right now who's more than just a woman singing. So I'm giving you a sort of a I'm basically showing you how look at yourself or even look at these artists or somebody you might admire in whatever field of art they're in and be able to recognize the act, because that's what these deities actually are. They're basically all these deities that you read about are pretty much just representatives of certain parts of our psychology or whatever. So you can look at Lefty and say Amaterasu was manifested through her via the fire quality. Amaterasu being born through the left eye of her father is anagami. And then they say her parents, Amaterasu's parents, Izanagi stood on the rock boat. I shouldn't even have to bring it out to show you, but rock boat, Aaliyah rocked the boat. It's all there. So, but I'm trying to show you how to identify, how to be able to look at a person. Shout out to Phyllis Hyman too while we here. That's my girl there, man. Ooh, Miss Phyllis. Man, that's a bad mama jamma. Yeah, I think we had to get into her one day, but She's over there with that nasty guy. And tell her what her Danny Hathaway, they was cool too. Yeah, they died under some real questionable circumstances. And I don't like how she was treated before she left. I saw in the dream world once. That nigga bad. Dreams be weird and shit. But she dig a nigga though. We was in some type of almost like a mansion or something. I want to say a haunted man. It had like a haunted look, but it wasn't. But it was big. But we was walking. I don't know what the fuck. Them dreams just be wild. But we walking this way. Me and somebody, we walking this way. And while we walking this way in the house, like we had just got in there. Like, it was like one of them. Kind of like it wasn't a nightmare, scary dream. But the house was like one of the houses from a scary movie or something with two people walking that motherfucker. When we walk in. So we go to the right, but at the corner of my eye, I see Phyllis Hyman pass through the hall. It's like a hallway over here. I see her pass by. And I said, oh shit, that's Phyllis Hyman. Shot straight up. That's, oh shit, was that Phyllis? I went over there, nigga, and like, when she saw me, she said, oh. And we hugged each other, nigga, she just was looking at me like, that was all I'm gonna say. That nigga was digging. I was digging too. But we just looking at each other like lost, reconciled lost lovers or something. But I just squeezed that in there real quick. But I'll leave y'all with that. Man. I just wanted to make sure y'all got that part the five. We gonna get some more left, but we do a little intro right here. But I just want to say that about the fire part, man. No disrespect. I'm not trying to trigger nobody or whatever, because I know it was a wild little ride or whatever, man. But that's why you have to be real. That's why you have to be real considerate and careful about how you treat people, and make sure you're not being insensitive. And not saying that was the case here. Like I said, I'm not speaking about that. Something had to happen for them to go through whatever they went through to bring it to that. But I'm not trying to, I'm speaking, because I said this shit a long time ago, about like in 2000, when it really hit me was like probably about 2014. I was like, I already was really in the business of just running over women, no shit like that. Now, of course, it's like, man, we do our thing, trying to see how far we can get, whatever, just like all men. But I never really just been in the business of just running over women. But around 2013 or something like that, I had something like an epiphany where I was like, man, niggas better stop. I know the times we going into, so I'm looking like niggas probably want to stop running them goddamn girls through the ringer and fucking with them and toying with them emotions. Because it comes, like I say, the result of that shit is examples like I said, windows being busted out, or whatever type of revenge they tend to take out when they get emotionally volatile. So, but I say, you know what? I think I tried to tell one of my homeboys, I'm not like, bro, yeah, we in there now, boy, especially us at our age. You either know what you want to do or you don't, bro. You either gonna be with the girl and really be with her and make an effort to be committed to it or honor whatever agreement y'all came to when y'all start fucking with each other, or just be a real player and be like, look, man, I ain't looking for no relationship. We gonna kick it, have fun, and even within the midst of that, still have a respect and make them feel like it's more than just you trying to jump up and down on them and leave, or make it more than that. Don't make them feel like it. Make it more than that. That's how I always been. Like, I ain't trying to just. Even if I'm on some homie level friend shit, I'm still looking at you like a homie and a friend. We just lovers as well as far as the ugly bumpings go. But we can still kick it, have fun. That's why I say it's just between tricking and having a little chick you with, y'all kicking it, because it should go both ways. What's up, we go out and kick it, blah, blah, blah. I might foot the bill. One day you might foot the bill. Or you should. Like, you know, you showed me a good time the other weekend. I want to show you going everything on me. Don't worry about it. We need more women like that. You'll get more out of a nigga. But you shouldn't even be trying to get him. It shouldn't even be about what you're trying to get out of a nigga. But I got respect for a woman that looks at it both ways. Who don't see it just like, I'm supposed to just spend all my money because I'm a man. No, motherfucker. And we dealing with reciprocation, come miles, whatever. So I can I can work hard for my money and take this money that I worked hard for and divide from it in commission of showing you a good time. Why I can't get the same business? You gotta have some fairness around here. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna leave it at that, man. I might do another one later if not. Be on the lookout. We gonna get back. You've not seen the last of her, but at least not on this platform. So, with that being said, man, let y'all go with that one. Might come back tonight. Who knows? Fuck with your boy, man. Peace.